good. Welcome to the Vagabond Lounge. What can I do you for?
I was really interested in this National Bourbon Day cocktails that you have going on here.
Yes. Yes. Today is National Bourbon Day, celebrating America's homemade spirit, bourbon. And we are doing a cocktail flight to celebrate National Bourbon Day. Oh, hey guys. I didn't see you there. How you doing?
Hi guys, I'm Cole.
I'm Miguel.
We're
CoMi. And today, like you just heard, is National Bourbon Day. Yes, it is. And we are going to make 4 bourbon cocktails to celebrate National Bourbon Day.
I've never had any of these cocktails, so I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm not a huge bourbon whiskey gal, but you said that I should at least try them, and you had 4 on mine as far as some good ones to start with. So what's our first drink?
Yes, well, hopefully we will find one that you like. So the first one that we're going to do is arguably the original and most famous of all cocktails, the Old Fashioned. So just a little bit of history about the Old Fashioned. The Old Fashioned, nobody knows where it really came from. So arguably...
Oh man, mystery.
Yeah, the origin story of the Old Fashioned is that it was created at the Pendleton Club in Louisville, Kentucky, sometime in the 1880s, but nobody knows exactly for sure. But to make an Old Fashioned, you're going to need a couple of things. An old-fashioned glass, some good bourbon, and some bitters, and some sugar. Everybody likes sugar. So we are going to use Bulleit bourbon because it has a high rye content. Most Old Fashions originally were made with rye. So first, we're going to start with sugar cube.
Can I get a second sugar cube, or is that like a no-no?
Sure, we'll give you a second sugar cube, no problem. It calls for one, but we'll give you a second sugar cube, no problem. So then we're just going to do a little bit of water, just like a teaspoon of water to help the muddling process. There we go. There we go. Now, 3 dashes of our Angostura Bitters. 1, 2, 3. Now, next, we muddle. Now, you want to get in there and you want to crush the sugar cubes.
Oh my.
Because you're trying to create a paste. You're trying to create a slurry.
I'm liking it so far. Any drink that starts with sugar is, bound to be delicious.
There we go. Now we're going to go with 2 ounces of our Bulleit Straight Kentucky bourbon.
Now, describe to me the one thing that I don't understand about bourbons is, one, what is it?
So bourbon is a whiskey. All bourbons are whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Okay.
Bourbon is an American whiskey. It can only be called bourbon if it's made in America. It's sort of like champagne. It can only be a champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. And bourbon is the same way. You can only make bourbon in the United States. Outside of the United States, you can use the same exact bourbon recipe as, say, Bulleit or somebody else. But outside of the United States, it's just called whiskey.
Okay.
So it must be made with at least 51% corn. And after that, you can use like wheat, barley, rye, or something like that. And it has to be aged in charred new oak barrels.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So what's next for our cocktail here?
Well, ice. You want to use the largest ice cubes you have. Put it right down in the middle of the glass. And you give it a stir. Now you want to stir this for a good long time. So you're looking to dilute the bourbon and get it a little chilled but not too cold.
Okay.
And there you go. And we finish it off with an orange peel.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yep. So you just take a nice peel of your orange. There you go. Now what you do is you just take your orange, twist it, because you want to express the essential oils over, rim it in, and there you go.
Oh, that
An
sounds
old-fashioned.
amazing. Okay.
Give it a try.
Cheers. That's not bad. It's not typically my drink, but I have to be honest, the first thing that hits me is definitely the orange.
Yeah.
And the taste of the orange, but then you get hit with the bourbon, the spice, and everything nice.
Yes.
And a little hint of sweet.
Mm.
I like that one.
So do I. All right, so the next cocktail that we're going to have in our bourbon cocktail flight is called a Gold Rush. The Gold Rush was created at the famed cocktail bar in New York called Milk and Honey. So, and it was a riff off a whiskey sour. So they just replaced the whiskey sour, or the sour mix in the whiskey sour, with a little honey syrup. So,
Okay, I like the way this one's sounding.
yeah, so we're going to use, again, an old-fashioned glass. We're also going to use some bourbon. This time we're going to go with the Old Forester. The Old Forester is one of my favorite underrated value bourbon. It is really, really beautiful. So we're going to go with that. We're also going to need a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of honey syrup. And we're also going to need our cocktail shaker.
Now what's honey syrup? Is it just
Honey syrup is just like simple syrup,
okay?
except you use 2 parts to 1 part as opposed to 1 to 1 that you would with regular simple syrup. So it's 2 parts honey, 1 part water, heat it up, and boom, you have honey syrup.
Exciting.
It's beautiful. So now we're going to put some ice in our cocktail shaker. Now, then we're going to go with 3/4 lemon juice.
It's gonna have a little pizzazz to it.
It is. So 3/4 of an ounce of our honey syrup. And we're going to go with a full ounce of our bourbon.
Okay, so a little bit lighter than the last one, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm getting closer to my drink.
Really? All right, that's good to know. All right, so now this is a shake and drink.
Okay.
Put it in a cocktail shaker and you shake it. Now this is a cocktail that needs to be shaken for a long time because you need the honey to really get in there and incorporate with the rest of the drink. All right, that is ready to go. Now, one large ice cube in the bottom of our glass.
Oh, the glass gets iced too. Okay.
Yes. And just strain over the cube. And there you have it. The Gold Rush.
Get it. Yes, the golden color. The honey and the lemon. All right.
Gold Rush.
All right. Very pretty. I get the honey and a little bit of the lemon too, but I still smell the bourbon. I wasn't expecting that.
Fantastic.
I thought
Hopefully
the
it's
honey would take
enjoyable.
it. That's good. That's so refreshing. I'm not a fan of bourbon, but I gotta tell you, like, those flavors for me are really good. First of all, I know that you said the bourbon's mellower, but with the honey, I think this might be my drink.
The nice thing about this is that it's actually a great summer bourbon cocktail
Yeah.
because a lot of people think you can't drink bourbon in the summer, and this is a great bourbon cocktail that you can drink in the summer.
This totally makes me think summer, just because of the refreshing taste of the lemon. And you have that sweetness from the honey, which, you know, during the summertime we put honey over everything, but
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh, this is good. All right, what's up next?
All right, next on our bourbon flight cocktails is the Boulevardier. Yes, the Boulevardier is another classic cocktail.
Okay.
It was invented by an expat living in Paris. He had a magazine that was called Boulevardier, and he invented the cocktail, the Boulevardier. Now, the cocktail is the cousin of the Negroni.
Oh,
So the Negroni is made with gin, the Boulevardier is made with bourbon. So for our Boulevardier, we will need a rocks glass, a cocktail mixing glass, and a couple of ingredients.
Okay.
So we're going to need Sweet Vermouth, Campari, and of course, bourbon. I'm using Jefferson's bourbon. Jefferson's is my absolute favorite bourbon. I go for it every time. It is a beautiful, beautiful bourbon.
Okay.
All right, so in order to make it, we will need lots of ice. So we pour ice into our cocktail mixing glass. There we go. Now, a Boulevardier is basically equal parts of everything.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
You're going to need 1 ounce Sweet Vermouth.
What is vermouth?
Vermouth is a wine.
Oh, okay. Like a red or white wine?
It is a white wine,
Okay.
although it's been aged.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 ounce of Campari. Campari is an Italian bitters. Nobody knows what the recipe is?
Very secretive.
And you're also going to need 1 ounce of bourbon. Now, I prefer to use a little bit more,
Okay.
but we'll go with the equal parts.
Just to make it easier for me.
Oh, it's a classic. There we go. And then you give it the old stir. So you want to make sure in your cocktail mixing glass you get all the way down and all the way down to the side, and then you just stir. Now crush up the ice, and then you just stir. Now, when you're stirring this, you want to stir this for a good long time.
Okay.
Stirring this will dilute the alcohol in the bourbon. It also takes some of the edge off the Campari, which can be very bitter.
Okay.
So you just want to make sure you stir this, and stir, and stir, and stir
Good
for
workout.
a good long time. It will also cool down the cocktail, so you can touch the side of the cocktail mixing glass,
Oh, okay.
yeah, to see where you're at, how
Yeah.
cool it is.
I can start
And-
seeing it fogging up on the side.
Exactly.
Okay.
So just give that a good stir. There we go. Should be good. In our rocks glass, we put 1 large ice cube.
Okay.
Put it down at the bottom of your rocks glass. There we go. Hawthorne strainer.
Oh, that's what that thing. Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering what that was. Okay.
It strains the ice out of the glass.
Yep.
And there,
Oh, that's pretty. And it looks fancy. It's the Boulevardier.
and then you finish with an orange peel.
I love the smell of orange.
Goes really nice with the Campari. There you
And
go.
bourbon in general, I think.
So you just take the orange peel, give it a little twist, rim it, put it in, and there you go. The Boulevardier.
Thank you. love how pretty it is. The color is just gorgeous. It's like the garnet red ruby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I get a hit of that orange from the rim, but I do get kind of like a spice that I don't know, and it's probably because I'm not familiar with either of these. So.
Well, the Campari could be a lot of. The Campari is a bitter made from herbs, made from a lot of herbs.
Okay.
And nobody knows the recipe.
Yeah.
And you can't get the recipe from Campari. Campari is a company in Italy that makes Campari, and all they make is Campari, and they're the only ones who can make it.
Kind of like it doesn't take over though. The bourbon, I still have that in the background, but I definitely taste like a couple different flavors. It's just like a flavor explosion.
Campari does that. Campari is fantastic. All right, so the next cocktail on our bourbon flight is also a new cocktail. So we're going back to the new. We went to the classic, and now we're going back to the new. And this is called the Woodford Thoroughbred. It was created by the great people at Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Very simple cocktail. So it is a riff on a dark and stormy. If you've ever had a dark and stormy, then you'll be familiar.
Okay.
So the dark and stormy is normally made in a highball glass. The Thoroughbred is made in a Collins glass. So you take a Collins glass, get some large ice. I like to tilt the glass and Woodford Reserve bourbon and some ginger beer.
My favorite.
Yes. So it's going to be 2 ounces of the Woodford Reserve. Oh, let's just crack this ginger beer. There we go. It's going to be 2 ounces of the Woodford Reserve.
I'm excited about this one, you guys. I am a huge fan of the ginger beer. Definitely.
Oh, the Dark and Stormy is a phenomenal cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And then you just fill with ginger beer. Now, lime, a couple of dashes of lime juice is optional.
Okay.
And there you have it. A Montgomery Thoroughbred. I'm sorry, a Woodford Thoroughbred.
I love that color. That is so deep, and I love that it's got all the effervescence in there. Oh yeah, I smell the ginger beer, but I do smell a good bit of the bourbon in there though too.
2 ounces of bourbon.
Yeah. Oh, that's smooth. That is good.
Is it good?
Yeah, very refreshing. That would be another good one for summer.
Fantastic.
You guys definitely gotta try this one too. I'm very happy with that one.
No, really? Good. Sip for the bartender?
What?
The Vagabond's got to get a sip. Your friendly neighborhood bartender, the Vagabond.
I don't know if I'm coming back to this lounge, you guys. Hey guys, we're back. So, I had fun at the Vagabond Lounge today.
Did you?
I did. I
Fantastic.
learned a lot about bourbon, and we hope to do a lot more of these in the series. So if you really liked it, guys, you gotta let us know by giving it a huge thumbs up, because it really helps the channel, and it lets us know that you guys like content like this. So hopefully we'll have some more of these interesting cocktail lounges. We have some ideas, so definitely let us know in the comments down below. If you guys try these drinks, which one was your favorite? I know which one was mine. Which one was yours?
I'm a giant fan of the Old Fashioned. The Old Fashioned has got my heart and soul. I'm a bourbon guy, and I love me some bourbon, and the Old Fashioned is just a really great spirit-forward cocktail, and I love the Old Fashioned, but I also love the Boulevardier too.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of bourbon in general, so I've been wanting to try a lot of different drinks, like I told you. Definitely wanting to try some different flavor combinations to see if I can kind of ease my way in there. And my number one favorite from today, out of all four, which were, can you name all four?
Yes, we had the Old Fashioned, the Gold Rush, the Boulevardier, the cousin of the Negroni, and the Woodford Thoroughbred. Yep, that's the one, the Woodford Thoroughbred.
Few drinks in, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So I'm gonna say what my list is, I guess, from number 4 being my least, all the way down to my number 1. So number 4, I would have to say it's actually the Boulevardier there. I was not a fan.
Too bitter.
I think so, and
Yeah.
we had, when you were trying to help me find maybe some more bourbons, trying to figure out this flavor profile, this really helped me because I'm seeing that definitely the ryes are a little too strong for me, but
Yeah.
the bitters, especially more towards the herbal side, is definitely something that just still not quite my thing.
Yeah,
You guys do you,
I
but
understand.
I would say that's number 4. Number 3 is the Old Fashioned for pretty much the same reason, because I'm not a bourbon drinker. It's basically straight up bourbon, but
Yeah.
it has a tinge of sweetness. I think if you would have put a 3rd cube in for me, I think I could have made that one work.
I was pushing it with the second cube.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll call it the new Old Fashioned and just use 3 to 4
It'll be
cubes.
the Vagabond Old Fashioned.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah,
If you
there you
guys like that, let us know in the comments down below if you're gonna vote for the Vagabond Old Fashioned or New Old Fashioned that has 3 to 4 cubes of sugar. So yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2 is the Woodford Thoroughbred. Yes, because I am a huge fan of the ginger beer.
Yeah.
Since you introduced it to me with the Dark and Stormy, that was my first try at,
Oh yeah.
the ginger beer with, my favorite, which is the dark rum. But I definitely have to say my number 1 that I went for was the Gold Rush, you guys. I had him make me up a brand new one because the first one went down pretty easily. And for a person who doesn't typically drink bourbon, this one's pretty smooth. So we should put a warning label on this one.
Yeah, she told me I should make it by the gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that good. And it's so perfect for summer.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
just
is.
so crisp and refreshing.
Yeah.
It's like you're drinking something very light and just full of flavor.
It really is. A lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people don't think you can drink bourbon during the summer because it's such a heavy liquor.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it. You can drink it anytime you want.
He's turned me into a bourbon drinker. So, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. And don't forget to check us out on our other social medias as well.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. If you guys decide to make these drinks,
So good.
post them on Instagram using the hashtag CoMi_experience. Let us know how it turned out. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And also, if you like what we're doing, please go over to Patreon, support us over there. We would greatly appreciate it, guys. Really, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be back soon.
See you later.